Hey folks, my name is Girish, the host for Back to Basics, another Back to Basics for another week. Today we're going to talk to you about public speaking. Public speaking is not easy, or is it easy? It all depends on a behavior, all depends on how comfortable are you to get on stage or even on a conference call, even on an office meeting, even a social meeting. It could be anything. But public speaking is one thing that we all have to learn. There are different aspects of it, and we're going to get into that today with a guest of mine. Her name is Neha, and we have spoken many times on Clubhouse, and I met her there. And the knowledge that she has about the body language, and the speaking, if you're supposed to pause, how much you pause, those are the items that she knows. And we're going to get into that. So, Neha, how are you? And by the way, she's not on Zoom call. She is traveling right now. So right now it's just the picture. If you are watching on video, on audio, you are ready to hear Neha right now. So Neha, how are you? And thanks for coming to Back to Basics.
I'm great. Thank you so much for calling me. It's been honored to come to Back to Basics, and I'm all set to share whatever I know about public speaking, and I'm ready to give it all.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming here and honoring us for here. And thank you again. So before we get into the public speaking topic for today, what does Back to Basic mean to you, Neha?
Back to Basic, when I heard this name, suddenly something came to my mind is back to routine, back to our comfort zone, back to what we actually like. So, what happens that we go out and we enjoy the places, we see the scenery, we eat good food, but when we come back home, it's called back to basics. We are back to our comfort zone, we are back to our happiness again, we are back to a simple sense of contentment.
Yeah.
So, for me, back to basics is satisfaction. When we are back to basic, be it our home, be it our exercise, be it our thoughts, be it our people, it's satisfaction. So I just love this name, back to basics.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Neha, for that and your kind words to the show. So thank you again for that. So regarding public speaking, it's not an easy topic, and for some people, it is an easy topic. Now, some people are just natural, a great speaker. But
Hmm.
let me ask you this: if you're not a natural, what do you need to do, or is there something that you need to work at? Can you explain that a little?
Yes, so I'll explain that in one activity. So what do you have in your hand right now? Like for example, I can see a pencil near
Yes.
me.
Yep.
What do you want to pick up?
I have a pen.
Pen. Okay, fine. So now what we both have to do is you need to tell something that is similar to you with the pen and something one dissimilarity with the pen.
Okay.
For example, one thing which is similar between me and pencil is when you sharpen the pencil, it becomes sharper and sharper, and you can write very well. So if I sharpen my skill, I also tend to become more and more intelligent and knowledgeable, and I can give it more. One dissimilarity is when you sharpen the pencil, it becomes smaller.
Hmm.
But when you sharpen my skills, I become bigger in life.
Hmm.
So now it's your turn to go. One similarity and one dissimilarity with the pen.
Well, the similar thing is that it's kind of the same size as the pencil, and I guess the
No,
disadvantage
no, no, no. Similarity between you and pen.
between me and the pen, um, I'm nice and tall as a pen. Uh,
Okay.
uh, what I don't have is a the pen tube inside of it. So yeah, so that's my dissimilar, right? So what are your thoughts on that?
Okay. Well tried. But I think you can do even better.
Okay, okay,
So one of the point of public speaking is spontaneity.
okay,
If you can be spontaneous, then you can speak really well.
okay.
Because when you're on the stage, you never know what is coming to you, what you have been asked, what people are thinking about you, or what they are going to put questions in front of you. So we need to solve this kind of riddle. What I did is bring me something.
Hmm.
This kind of small riddles every day, every day a new riddle.
Hmm.
So that will be very spontaneous. If we are not natural, but we will become.
Hmm.
That is for sure.
Hmm.
So for me, spontaneity is the first and foremost thing for public speaking. And yes, there are a lot of other things too.
Of course, of course. This, I mean, this is just one aspect of it. So before we get into a little more detail, and thank you for explaining the, to be a great speaker, you have certain items, and a natural speaker, you have certain items. Um, but can we explain to the audience that who is Neha Chaudhary, and what does she do, and who are you? So let's explain that to the audience if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. So I am, of course, public speaker, and I am a NLP master trainer, that is neuro linguistic programming. I do brain language training about public speaking, leadership, teamwork, time management, stress management to different schools, colleges, and corporates.
Hmm.
And everything is scientific tools and techniques. So, for every kind of training, there is no gyan. Everyone knows what to do. No one knows how to do.
Hmm.
So we use the technique and give the technique on the spot, so they will know, yes, this is the way to do, and they'll start doing it.
Hmm.
It's all
Hmm.
scientific proven tools and technique.
Hmm.
And I have also been a motivational speaker in UNICEF, and I have awarded as best motivational speaker by UNICEF in 2021.
Hmm.
So yes, that's me. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you again, Neha, for all that, and you can definitely follow her on LinkedIn and Instagram too. Amazing person, by the way, and amazing feeds. So Neha, let me ask you this: experienced speaker no longer becomes nervous before a speech. Is that true or is that false?
Oh, this is a very interesting question. So you can say that experienced person becomes less nervous
Hmm.
than a newcomer.
Okay.
So, for example, if you go to school, the first day of your school, if you remember, you cry, you tend to become nervous, you don't talk to people. But then when you go the second day, you become little comfortable. Third day, you become more comfortable.
Hmm.
So, public speaking is just like that.
Hmm.
So, if someone thinks that first time I went to the stage and I was shivering and I couldn't speak, that doesn't mean that lifetime that person cannot speak.
Hmm.
Just remember that when you went first day of your school, you were nervous. That doesn't mean you stopped going.
That's right.
You did it again and again. So stage is something like your school or something like which takes time to get comfortable with.
Hmm. Yeah.
So yes, if you go again and again in the stage, you'll become less and less nervous. That is very true.
So Neha, let me ask you this in a twisted way, if you don't mind, right? So
Hmm.
some of the interviews that I have seen from actors and actresses around the world,
Mhm.
Hollywood and Bollywood both, they keep on saying that whenever they go into the photo shoot or the video shoot of their movie, right?
Hmm.
They tend to get nervous every single time. So
Hmm.
should we take that same example for speaking? And do you think that are we going to be nervous every single time? Yes, I get what you're saying, that when you're kind of used to it, you're kind of used to it, and the nervousness goes away. But I think
Hmm.
you always get sweaty hands no matter what before you get on stage, right? So what are your thoughts on that?
Exactly. Every damn time you'll get nervous. I mean, right now also, even without in the video, I got nervous before the show started.
Hmm.
So, but then later on, it becomes a positive nervousness.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So nervousness somewhere stops you from becoming overconfident. It gives you pressure to perform even your best.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yes, that nervousness will be there forever, and it should be there forever. So that there is a pressure in your mind that yes, you have to do your best. Still, there is more you got to learn. Still, there is more you can give. So it
So
will be there.
so basically, we're saying there's a difference between a a negative nervousness and a positive nervousness, right?
Exactly. Very
Okay,
true.
okay, okay. So I think that's what we need to channelize. And when we say nervous, it doesn't always mean negative. It could be the positive way too. That yes, I'm getting
Exactly.
on stage. Yes, I'm getting into this show. Like those kind of things. So thank you again for that, Neha. Introverts and extroverts. Are introverts can excel on stage or extrovert can? What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so for this thought, I would like to ask you a counter question.
Mm-hmm.
When you were born,
Mm-hmm.
did doctors tell your parents that congratulations, a nervous kid is born? Or congratulations, a kid with inferiority complex is born? Or congratulations, a shy kid is born?
Hmm.
Did doctors tell this to your parents?
No.
No, exactly. So these things are not in your genes.
Hmm.
These are being developed by the situations you're coming up in your life.
Hmm.
For example, somewhere you were trying to talk and somebody bullied you,
Hmm.
and you started becoming a nervous person or introvert person,
Hmm.
and you didn't even realize it.
Hmm.
And you declared yourself, okay, this is me, this is my nature, this is into me, and I cannot change.
Hmm.
So this is a very strong statement that I am an introvert or I am an extrovert.
Hmm.
You can say that I became introvert, but I can change, definitely.
Hmm.
So here I do NLP training where we use scientific tool and techniques, because there are neurons in your brains,
Hmm.
and one neuron is attached to the other neuron with a thread called that I am introvert. The
Hmm.
more you say I am introvert, I am introvert, that thread is becoming a rope.
Hmm. Hmm.
And cutting a thread is very easy, but cutting a rope is very difficult.
So let's say if I'm an introvert person, okay, and I
Hmm.
get trained to be an extrovert, is it true
Hmm.
that later in life you will be back as an introvert person?
You can never be back, because by NLP it
Hmm.
is not gyan, as I said, that motivation is like a food, you need it every day.
Hmm.
But NLP is not like a food, it's a permanent technique. Once your neurons are changed to extrovert,
Hmm.
there is no way going back,
Hmm.
and you'll be that forever. And if you ask me that, please me, I want to become introvert again, I would just say sorry, it's not possible.
Okay. Okay.
Because now you know how to be extrovert, now you know how
Hmm.
to be extrovert, so it's impossible for your neurons to get back to a lesser thing.
So then how do you explain a person who's extrovert, okay, and during these COVID times they're staying at home, so they're technically introverts now, right? Because they want to be outside in the world because they're extroverts. What do you think of that? Are we getting remapped again?
No, see, the thing is, if I'm an extrovert and I'm staying at home, that doesn't at all make me an introvert.
Hmm.
What makes me introvert is I'm not taking effort to become public. There are so many platforms nowadays.
Hmm.
As you said, we met in Clubhouse. Then there are Zoom calls. There are so many trainings and meetings. S- There's so much technology that helps you to become an extrovert person being at home.
Hmm.
So extrovert person will always be extrovert person even if he or she is at home or outside the home. But
Yeah.
introvert person, due to the COVID time, I'm sure they'll be happy because they got another excuse to be introvert only.
Sure.
So they don't have to go out.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you again, by the way, for that, and a little diversion away from the public speaking. But this is an important topic because people, they need to understand the differences, and that's why I'm throwing out these questions between the extrovert and introverts, because some people are definitely confused that, you know what, in order to be a public speaker or speaker in general, they need to be an extrovert, and introverts cannot be speakers. So we
Look,
need to.
there's one more important thing. I'm sorry to cut you,
Sure.
but just because you said that, it's very important. Some people are introvert outside but extrovert inside.
Hmm. Okay. Can you explain that a little?
So yeah, it is very interesting. Nowadays, I'm meeting such people. They are very intelligent
Okay.
and they have lot of content in their mind and lot of things they can talk, but then they choose when to talk.
Okay.
They
Can you?
choose to be introvert with everyone, but they choose to be extrovert when needed.
Hmm. Wow. Do you
So
have an?
these
Do you have
people
a
these days
small?
excel even more.
Do you have a small example of that?
Yeah, so I met one more person from California,
Hmm.
Arnab. So first, when I did a meeting, I thought he's such an introvert. He's talking really less. He's listening, whatever I'm speaking. He's not saying anything. But then, as and when I got to know him, I thought that, oh my God, he's such an extrovert person
Hmm.
because he has so much knowledge and he just know it right when to talk,
Hmm.
how to talk, and with whom to talk.
Hmm.
So these days, being an extrovert outside and introvert outside and extrovert inside is more beneficial than extrovert outside and introvert inside.
So this sounds like that you're uh this sounds like that this is more of a listening mode that we're in right now. Is that what you're saying?
More of a listening and more of a right time speaker.
Hmm. Okay.
These people just know the right time when to speak, what to speak, and how to speak.
Got it. Got it.
So
Got it.
when you choose that, you become a great speaker because you're choosing everything, whatever you're saying.
So basically they're observing and then when they're ready they
Yeah,
speak. Is that what you're saying?
exactly, exactly. You're
Got it.
right.
Got it. Got it. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And that's kind of important too, because you know what? You need to start observing and try to understand, investigate in your head, and then start speaking out. I think that's what it is. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. So I would request people to never declare anyone as introvert because you never know they are extrovert out inside and
yeah,
they could be even better than you.
yeah. Definitely
So
agree.
wait for their turn.
Yeah, thank you so much for making us understand that, and it's very important for sure. So Neha, let me ask you this. If I want to get on stage and want to give a speech, okay, do I need to memorize the speech or do I need to memorize the topic and just flow on? What is your thoughts on that?
Okay. So there is very important thing about memorizing is only memorizing doesn't help.
Hmm.
Memorizing and understanding the speech helps
Hmm.
because speech, great speeches work on emotions.
Hmm.
Unless it comes from your heart, people don't understand and people will never connect.
Hmm.
So rather than memorizing or rather than just going with the flow, you need to be connected with your speech.
Hmm.
You need to take time and understand the topic. You need to go deep down into it and you need to connect it first, because if you cannot connect with it, nobody else will connect with you.
So Neha, let me ask you this, right? You're not a doctor, right? But if you want to give a speech on health and medical, you would not be comfortable with that because you're just not fluent with that. So then does that mean that your speech will completely flop on stage? Or do you think that you can make up stuff and be a hit? What are your thoughts on that?
This is a very nice question because there are so many people who doesn't have forte about it and they need to talk about it. It's compulsory.
Hmm.
So I think you can, if you're not aware about the knowledge of health, first of all, you can become aware and know the facts from the Google. But if in case if you don't have time to become aware, so you just need to be honest in the stage. You need to go and talk about that I am not a doctor, but yes, I would love to talk about health because I give health lot of importance. And you can shift the topic towards your thing, like cycling and walking and eating good food is it the way you keep yourself healthy. So you can always convert the topic to your genre
Okay,
by just being honest.
so basically you're saying that instead of following the facts of, let's say,
Hmm.
health and doctors, right? Might as well go
Hmm.
with the experiences that you have gone through.
Exactly. If you're not aware about the facts,
If you're
don't lie. Just say that I am honest and I don't know about it so much, but yes, what I know is this. Because people love honesty when you're on the stage.
yeah. Thank you so much for that and making us understand about the memory and not memory, and it needs to flow also at the same time because you can actually tell if a person is shaky and not confident. But then when
Hmm.
you're shaky and not confident, does that mean that we don't trust that person who's speaking on stage, or does it show that this is the first time they're speaking? What are your thoughts on that?
Okay. Shaky and not confident definitely will give the people signal that you're a first timer or you're a newcomer,
Hmm.
and they will definitely not connect with you with the speech, but they will connect with you as a person
Hmm.
because they can feel you.
Hmm.
That yes, when I was in the stage first time, I was same. When I was in the stage, I'm not able to go on the stage also, this person is on the stage. They will connect you in a other manner,
Hmm. Hmm.
but yes, they will definitely know that you're a first timer, and that's really okay
Hmm.
because again, people will connect with you and understand you. and they will give you time and listen to you.
Hmm. Yeah, thank
So
you so much.
you just have to wait for the people, because you just have to go to the stage. And
Mm.
trust me, if you're shaky, people will understand. If you're not confident, people will understand. You just have to be you, nothing else. You don't have to fake it. Just be you, whatever you are, and people will trust you and understand you.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you again, by the way, Neha, for that. Let me tell you some series of questions very quickly. Okay. Most of the
Hmm.
questions I have already asked and you have already given answers. But these are the myth questions that people are talking about, the public
Hmm.
speaking. Okay. Great speakers are born. Introverts can't be great speakers. I'm not funny. I don't know big words. I need to memorize the whole speech. I'll get on stage and forget everything. You should speak in the mirror to practice. Imagine in the audience that people are wearing underwear. No one wants to listen to me. So, are these normal questions that people ask when they want to be a public speaker?
Yes, definitely. Very normal.
Okay. So let's pick a funny one if you don't mind. So imagine the person who is wearing an underwear. Obviously, that's
Oh,
not
this is the first time I wanted to tell specify this. This is the first time I'm hearing the question. This nobody asked.
okay. So what are your thoughts on that? So what you should imagine? Should you imagine and focusing, let's say, on a female or a male or a kid, depending on the event? Do you focus onto their eyes and make sure that you're connecting with them, or what do you do?
Okay. So if you talk about imagining, NLP has a great technique, to manifest.
Hmm.
So this is one of the really important technique of NLP to become a great speaker.
Hmm.
When you're really quiet, you can just imagine, close your eyes and imagine exact place where you're going to speak.
Hmm.
You're going to see the stage. You're
Hmm.
going to see yourself standing on the stage,
Hmm.
and you're going to see the audience in front of you, even small audience. These are all in your imaginations.
Hmm.
Women is sitting, men is sitting, children is sitting here, this person is sitting here, that person is sitting, she's wearing that cloth and he's wearing that cloth. Even you'll imagine the smell
Hmm.
which you're the sense you're getting it when you're on the stage.
Hmm.
You'll imagine, you'll feel the hand in your mic. You'll see the left side, the backstage. You'll see the right side, the people who are organizing it, and they are murmuring. So when you imagine each and every detail, and then you go on the stage, it
Hmm.
becomes way more easier,
Hmm.
because you have already done it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you're doing it again and you're less nervous.
Wow. Thank you again for that. So it makes me less nervous to go and talk to you. Then it seems like, and it seems like I have practiced a lot in front of the mirror. So so thank you again for that, for making people understand that, you know what, uh I think the way I'm getting it is that people, anyone can become a speaker. And when,
Exactly.
so which means that you need to start practicing maybe within yourself, but try to be yourself. I think that's the main key from what I'm understanding this whole entire thing here. So what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that's a right statement to say that anyone can be and be yourself when you get on stage?
Absolutely correct. Any one damn person can be amazing speaker, the person I've never imagined,
So let
by
me,
just being themselves.
and Neha, one last question if you don't mind. uh,
Yeah,
when we say public speaking and speakers, okay, the first thing comes in your mind is that I need to get on stage behind the pedestal. Is that a true statement? Because you know what, you can be a great speaker when you're, let's say, a podcaster, or you can be a great speaker when you are on a conference room and in a board meeting. So what are your thoughts on that?
so can you come again with the question? You
Okay.
mean that you're different when you're in
Okay,
the
so no,
public
no.
and when.
So let me explain. uh when we say speaker, the first thing comes in your mind is that you are a speaker on stage, you are a speaker behind
Hmm,
the pedestal, just like the president,
hmm,
the prime minister, and everyone else,
hmm,
right? But
hmm.
generally speaking, podcasters, people who go to the boardroom conference rooms, okay, or a group of people, is that considered public speaking also?
Yes, if there are two or more people in front of you, it is public speaking.
Okay.
And definitely there are people who are more comfortable with the small group, as you say. Some people are amazing in the boardroom, but when they go to the stage, they're not as that great. So you can't say that they are not at all amazing good public speaker. They are good public speaker in a room,
Hmm.
but they are not a good public speaker in the hall. That means they just need practice
Hmm.
for the podcast also.
Hmm.
So you are very good right now in the podcast, but you may not be good in the stage, on
Hmm.
the stage. But that's okay. Again, you need a practice. You did the practice for the podcast.
Hmm.
That's why you're amazing in it. No one can beat you. Same way, if you practice on the stage, going again and again and again, I think you'll be amazing speaker because you have that.
So
If you have
basically,
that in the podcast, you'll have that on the stage.
so basically you're saying that the environment actually makes a big difference when you're becoming a public
Yes,
speaker.
definitely.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you again, Neha, for making me and making the listeners understand and viewers understand that it actually depends on the environment, and it could be a happy moment environment or a sad environment. It could be anything really. So yeah, thank you again for that.
No, but you tell me that when you're on the stage, do you feel nervous?
Uh, I think so, but you should be in a good way. I mean,
No, no, but you should be. I'm just asking about you that do you feel nervous, like in a good way, in a bad way? Which way do you feel?
I feel in a good way.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So
have no.
you are all set to go on in front of 500 people and speak?
Absolutely, absolutely. If the chances are,
Oh.
and and if people are definitely listening, and if you like what you hear, please invite me to any of the invites to the events, because you know what, uh, I've done plenty of events and I've done a lot of speaking events, and yeah, I mean, yes, I do get nervous, but those are excitement nervousness, not nervousness crazy in nervousness. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Positive nervousness.
Positive nervousness, right? As we spoke earlier today. Yeah. So thank you again,
I
Neha.
purposely asked you because before I've met some podcast people, so they say that we are very nervous in front of so many people. We can do the podcast. And you say me that you're okay with going 500 people because you have already done it.
Yes,
So that's the difference, that if you have it in you, you will be amazing by the practice. Just
absolutely,
practice.
absolutely. I haven't done that many, but I have done enough that I'm not nervous at all. Well, in a good,
Awesome.
in a positive way. So thank you for that. So Neha, before we leave the call today and end the call today, it was great having you on the show. But what are your thoughts on Back to Basics? Any last words before you leave today?
Okay, I would just say that public speaking is just like a smoothie. So you don't know what is there inside, some curd, some nuts, some flavor, some fruits. But when you drink it, you just feel wow. So public speaking includes your spontaneity, your body language, your tonality, your stage appearance, your look, your dress, the way you move on the stage, everything.
Mm,
So people don't know that you're using hundreds of charms, but they just see that you're amazing speaker.
mm,
So become like a smoothie and use everything so smoothly that no one even notice what you're doing.
mm,
So that's how you become amazing public speaker. And yes, back to basics. I'm really proud coming here because you choose amazing topic, and people get a lot of knowledge because I've heard lots of podcast of yours before coming to the show, and I'm really glad that I've been called, and I would love to come again and again.
absolutely. The invitation is still there for part two of whatever Neha they want to speak. But thank you again for coming here and supporting me and the small journey that I have in my podcast. And we're excited for season two. So more coming to me. So thank you again for all the support.
Thank you so much. We'll meet again.
Absolutely. Thank you again. So, guys, we spoke with Neha Choudhary and we talked about the basics of public speaking and not to get nervous. And what did she say? She says there are two types of nervousness, which is positive and negative. And now you have to decide that if you are negative or positive. And I hope it's all positive because you know what? It takes practice. Keep on listening to this episode and look at all the questions that I've asked Neha. And I'm telling you, anyone can be a speaker. The only one key is that you got to be truthful to yourself to make it successful in any event. And I think that's what Neha said. And I hope Neha likes this last comment and the quote of the day from Back to Basics. And here's a quote of the day from Back to Basics. Remember not only to say the right things in the right place, but far more difficult still, to leave unsaid the wrong thing at the tempting moment. Now, there's one thing that we have never said this in this call, but silence is also one big key of speaking, and it's very, very important. So just keep that in mind too. As usual, as always, what do I always say at the end of the episode? Everything in life goes back to basics, and that's what we did today, guys. Guys, take care. God bless. Keep on commenting as much as you can on my show, good, bad, or ugly. Either way, it'll make my show stronger day by day because I'll be learning from you guys. And there are three things in this show that we always focus on, which is the content, the guest, and definitely the host, who's always the best. Guys, take care. God bless, and I will see you next week. Next week's episode on Back to Basics.
The whipped cream really is not to mellow down the flavor.
Hmm.
The whipped cream is just adding a component, the texture, the thickness, the velvety feel, the leather feel on your tongue and your palate. That's the reason why you have whipped cream on top, because you're already having coffee, you're already having your Irish whiskey to it, right? And then you have your other ingredients. You have your milk, but just that is not enough, right? So you want something smooth on your palate, you want something creamy, something velvety, something foamy. So that's the reason why you put whipped cream on top. But again, there are certain people who, instead of putting whipped cream, they use whiskey infused whipped cream.
Hmm.
So a whipped cream which has whiskey infused, right? So when you put that, it's really just for the taste and the palate, right? So it is an important component in that particular cocktail, and it's not something to dilute the drink.
So, can you explain the infused part of the whiskey? So, if a person wants to do it at home, what would you recommend?
No, so just take heavy cream, right? Just take heavy whipping cream,
Mm-hmm.
put it in a mesh bowl, and so what it depends on